The Lakers announced that they're going to retire Pau Gasol's jersey on March 7th, and it says he wore number 16, so just another trivia fact for you guys on that one. What do I think about the Lakers retiring Pau Gasol's jersey? I think he's well deserving of it. I've felt for a while he's deserved to have his jersey retired with the Lakers for just his contributions to that organization. Without Pau Gasol, they don't win championships in 2009 and 2010. It's just not happening. You could say Kobe was the best player on those two teams, but Pau was very integral to that team, just winning multiple championships. Before the Lakers got Pau Gasol, they were in a stretch or a funk where they were pretty much just a borderline playoff team. After they traded Shaq, I think they went to the lottery one time, and the next two straight years afterwards they lost in the first round. So they were not a team that was contending for a title in any way until they got Pau Gasol. What I will say though, that trade was one of the biggest rip-off trades in NBA history, at least in my lifetime. In my lifetime, and I've been following the NBA since the early 90s. I had never seen a trade that lopsided ever prior to that. I'm sure you can bring up the trades that happened during the 80s, such as the Celtics ripping off the Warriors and getting Robert Parrish and their draft pick, which would be Kevin McHale. Definitely a rip-off trade in that regard. Or the Lakers getting, I believe they got the first pick with Magic Johnson through trade with the Jazz. So that was a rip-off trade. I'm trying to think of another one. I think the way they got James Worthy was another rip-off trade they got by trading to get that pick. Just so that happened previously before my time, those trades. But in my lifetime, this trade was one of the biggest lopsided trades I've ever seen. Just very uneven, very unfair. The Lakers got to keep their core intact, and they had to give up anybody. They just gave up Kwame Brown, who actually was a bum. I know he has a channel which he'll deny it, but Kwame Brown was a bum as a player. Obviously, as a person, you can make a different judgment about that, but as a player, he was a bum. This was a horrible trade. The Lakers pretty much got to add Gasol to a team that was just a 6th or 8th seed at best, and you added him in there, they suddenly became a contender. They skyrocketed, and they instantly became great the moment he arrived there. Just I remember his first year there when he was traded midway into the season, they went all the way to the NBA Finals. So that shows you just how big of an impact he had, I would say, and I think he had a huge impact also on Kobe's legacy. Without Pau Gasol, Kobe's just not viewed the same way. Pau Gasol allowed Kobe to redeem his legacy in the way a lot of basketball fans viewed him. Prior to Pau Gasol, he was just viewed as this guy who was an idiot who got rid of Shaq and couldn't back it up. Just he would talk a lot of trash about being able to win, but he couldn't do anything until he got Pau. So I think he was very important for Kobe's legacy. It also allowed Kobe to walk away from that dark moment he had in Colorado. So it allowed him to just finally recover from that, I think, in a way that his reputation could come back among most casual basketball fans, where that was really put in the past and they could focus on his career from that point forward. So I think Powell was a lifesaver for Kobe in so many ways when he was on the Lakers with Kobe. He also, I think, well, it's not, I think, I know he was also close to Kobe. They had a close friendship. That's very obvious now when you see Powell with Kobe's widowed wife, Vanessa. So Powell was very important to Kobe's life. You can definitely say that he was. He had a huge impact. I'm not saying Powell was the best player on those Laker teams. Not all. Kobe was, but Powell was huge. He was like a stimulus package for the Lakers and Kobe's legacy. I also thought it was always disrespectful how the Laker fans would clown him for being soft. Sure, Powell wasn't a very physical player, and he had his moments of getting punked every now and then, but that man got you 2 championships, and they still could call him soft. I still remember the 2011 playoffs where he got embarrassed by Dirk. He got schooled in that series, and Laker fans just turned on him. Just the previous 2 championships didn't matter, but it shows you how fickle their fan base is. If you're not their favorite player, they're just not going to ride with you until the end. They're just going to throw you underneath the bus, as they would say. So it really showed that. I would also say you could make an argument that Pau Gasol deserved to get NBA Finals MVP during the 2010 Finals. I thought he had a better series than Kobe, to be honest. And I don't think they win Game 7 without his rebounding. Just he was big in that game. So that's the way I look at it. I think Pau definitely deserved this moment, and he's going to get into the Hall of Fame. There's no doubt in my mind in the next 4 or 5 years, whenever he's eligible for it. So kudos to Pau for having that moment, and that's all I have to say about it.